Aquarius. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for April of 2021. This month's themes are going to bring your attention to your home life and the people you communicate with. And if you want a reading about that after this horoscope, you can find it through the link in the YouTube description below, because a Natal and Transit reading was probably the best way to cover those topics. Now, Jupiter is moving through Aquarius this year, and that's your sign, which is absolutely terrific. Jupiter is in your first house if you have Aquarius rising. It's going to connect with your sun at some point this year if you have an Aquarius sun. And there's just nothing that feels better than Jupiter. It brings growth, expansion, confidence, and joy wherever it goes. And in your case, that would be your first house of your very identity, your sense of self, how you hold your boundaries. When Jupiter does this, I call this a year of personal charisma. It's a time when you can kind of write your own ticket, when you are feeling, maybe kind of full of yourself if you're already prone to being confident or overconfident. So it might be good to kind of step back your enthusiasm a little bit if that's the case. Or, it can be a wonderful expansion if you tend to lack confidence. And so express your enthusiasm. People are going to want to follow your leadership this year. And if you want to know more about Jupiter and Aquarius, you can find a video about it in our 2021 news playlist on our YouTube channel. And if you do get a reading, then we can give you some very specific dates in which your Jupiter luck will be in play, and also best ways to handle it. Julia, you got stuff about Mercury, Venus, and Mars, right?
I sure do, Jamie. Hey, Aquarius. I'll begin with Mercury because that's a planet of communication and it also represents our mind. So on the very, very beginning of April, on April 3rd, Mercury is going to be moving into your third house. And this is the house of communication too. So Mercury does very, very well in this house. So if you have any types of writing projects that you really need to do, or if you're in school and you have assignments or new things that you need to learn, this is going to be a wonderful time for that. The third house can also represent our neighborhood and local surroundings. Mercury is a very busy, fast-moving planet, so you could be rather busy just kind of moving around your neighborhood, getting a lot of things crossed off your to-do list too during that transit. So since Mercury is moving very fast, it's going to be going into Taurus on April 19th, which is your fourth house of family, home, and also the past. So with Mercury here, your mind might be preoccupied with past matters, which might be affecting your present in some way. And since this is also the house of home, you could be spending a lot of time thinking about your current housing situation, whether you want to move or whether you want to make some changes in it to make your home as satisfying as possible. Then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, starts the month also in your third house as well. So wonderful transit also for writing and for communicating, because Venus is going to add a little bit of poetry because she's the planet of art, as well as some diplomacy in how you kind of express yourself to others, or any type of creative writing work that you might be doing. Also, yeah, what's that?
So sweet.
I know. So good time to smooth things over with people. And then Venus is going to be entering Taurus on April 14th, which is your fourth house of family and home. So this is going to be a lovely time for getting along well with the people you live with, getting along well with your family members, like a parent. And if you want to do things to kind of beautify your home in some way, you'll do it in such a way that it'll be very satisfying and can give you a lot of pleasure. Then Mars, the planet of action, activity, also conflict too, starts the month in your fifth house. This is the house of games. This is the house of fun, as well as the house of children. So if you do have any children, you might run into a few more conflicts with them than usual. And since this is also the house of games and diversions, you also might be feeling like you want to just spend all of your energy on having a good time, maybe playing the things that you enjoy and doing the things that you love. Now, Mars can also be rather competitive as well. So in any games that you do play, you might have a little bit of that competitive streak to you. Then Mars is going to move into Cancer on April 23rd, which is your sixth house. This is the house of work. So you could also run into some issues, some frustrations, some conflicts with the people you work with. That can include coworkers, clients, bosses, etc. And since it's also the sixth house is the house of health, if you do have any sort of chronic conditions like IBS or headaches or things of that nature, infections are also ruled by Mars. They can also be acting up a little bit too now.
Mm. Well, we have a couple of moons to talk about. On the 11th, we have got a new moon in Aries here with a cluster of planets in Aries, really bringing a lot of emphasis to that third house of communication, immediate environment, neighbors, roommates, siblings, the people and things right around you, and also, you know, thought and communication. So a lot of emphasis on that there. We're calling this moon assertive, but also relatable because it has the full force of Aries fire, but it's also got quite a bit of sugar sprinkled in there because of Venus and also Juno, another very social influence. So you might find that your voice is coming forth with a great deal of clarity this month, and that this moon allows you to really speak even more passionately than usual. Then a little later in the month, we have the full moon in Scorpio, and that's on the 26th. And here we have the moon appearing in your 10th house of career and public image, opposite to the sun with Uranus in the 4th house of home and family. And this is part of that transition that's going on this month of a whole bunch of planets in Aries in the 3rd house here at the beginning of the month, gradually fanning out into the 4th house and bringing the emphasis away from communication and voice and immediate environment and instead into home and family, and also, you know, memories in the past, as Julia said. So this particular moon is about the most passionate and intense emotionally moon of the year because it's in Scorpio. And this moon is going to be utilizing its connections with Mars and with Vesta to channel that passion. However, there's probably also going to be a very, very big note of stubbornness going on in this moon. And you might find yourself engaged in some rather entrenched battles around the home front where, you know, one partner wants to control the other one is resistant. That sort of thing may go on. So we also have a seasonal change like we do every month, and that happens when the sun shifts from Aries into Taurus, and there it goes right around the 19th and 20th of the month. Again, helping that shift happen from the 3rd house and the themes of assertion that go with Aries and into the slowness and the calmness and the smoothness and the consistency that you really like in your home life with all of these planets in Taurus there. Mercury bringing communication and Venus bringing, you know, friendliness and sociability. So the sun is adding to that theme very much towards the end of the month. So you may find that your attention really goes to your home life and how you can make it as comfortable as possible. Another thing I want to mention is that Pluto is going retrograde this month, and I've been saying for a couple of months that the late winter and early spring this year is the best time all year to start new projects. And this month, April, is where we begin to see the cascade, the sort of domino effect of obstruction coming in. In other words, if you haven't started your projects yet and you start them after Pluto turns retrograde, you're going to be inviting some conflict, some even potentially some sort of self-undoing or self-sabotage into those projects. And as the months go on this year, Saturn will go retrograde, and I think that happens next month. Jupiter will go retrograde too shortly after that, and then Neptune as well, until we land in the fall with everything, all of the outer planets retrograde at once. And that would be an extremely difficult and just dreadful time to, break ground on a new project of any kind or size. So now, if you happen to have your sun or anything significant in your chart between 24 and 26 degrees of Capricorn, then you would absolutely feel this Pluto shift, this pivot from direct to retrograde in a really strong way. You would probably feel like you're going into a state of meltdown. A very big transformation is afoot. A a symbolic death and rebirth is going on. And particularly you would feel that way if you were born between about the 14th and 16th of April, July, no, July, October, or January, because this Pluto would be bearing down on your sun and you would really, really be feeling that. So if you are finding that you're having that experience and you want some help with it, most particularly if you want to know when the hell is this going to be over and how should I handle it while I'm in it, then we are there for you. And you can find us, on our website, pandoraastrology.com. In the services section, you can get readings. You can also join a class if you want to understand your chart better in more detail. On pandoraastrology.com, and you can always find our videos on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology on YouTube. And we love making these horoscopes for you, and we love your responses to them too. If you want to, share them, subscribe to our channel, like them, we love to hear how this stuff is landing for you. So until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.